belated Happy Pongal, Happy New Year to all of you. And it's really good that we could get all 5 of you here who all have some historical films which people are going to remember for a really long time to come. Each one has a cult audience, so it's really good to get all of you around the table. Before we start, I just want all of you to write down how much you would rate your film on a scale of 1 to 10, because we've all seen how many stars critics give us and all that. So, and I don't want you to consult each other. I don't want you to see each other's.
You rate your own film.
Rate your own film. Only your film. You don't have to rate, because we want the conversation to continue after that also.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
1 to 10.
Okay. Do I rate my first film? Do I rate the one I'm doing right now?
The Tamil one.
Tamil one.
Write it.
Yeah.
Okay. And fold it.
Oh, like that.
And then we'll get started.
The pen's not working now. My own pen is not working.
We write on air.
No, you're going to hold it. You'll show it a little later. He's still thinking, my God, critics don't think so much.
I guess there's nothing.
Okay, cool. So let him take his time. So the first talking points, I'm just going to have talking points. I'm not going to address it to anyone specific. Whoever feels comfortable to talk about it can start talking about it. So my first question is, what part of Tamil cinema would you want to change? Okay, and if you don't want to change also, that's fine. But I want to understand, what do you want to bring to the table? What styles, or what do you want to change, or what do you want to contribute to Tamil cinema? If you don't want to change. So at the end of this, you can also say how you started making the film and your final rating of the film. So you could show your rating at the end of
End of this answer only?
End of this answer, yes.
Then I think somebody else. You have your mainstream hardcore pot boilers, but at the same time there's this alternative movement that's been happening in the last decade.
Yeah.
Which now slowly, I think even Malayalam cinema now slowly is catching on to it, and it's almost ripping off Tamil movies, I feel, right now. Though now Tamil movies slightly again going on the low, because it's like they found a rhythm to a certain kind of films. In fact, I hear there are terms now for sort of like one Madurai film, and there's Chennai film, so
yeah.
But still there are these movies that are coming out with a lot of new talent, new scripts, new ideas coming out. So I only see that getting stronger.
Okay.
And that will become stronger only once you see more and more films start which will deliver.
Okay.
One of them will become like this blockbuster, like our man's pizza here. So then there will be more that will come. So in terms of what will change, I feel that's what will change. You will see more films like that which are not your, which doesn't necessarily need to be endorsed by a star.
The emergence of. So what did you want to do? But your film has stars. So.
My film has stars.
Yeah.
My film is in the other side though right now. My film has stars, yet it's not the kind of films those stars are usually associated with. I know the audience are going to go in for a Vikram Jiva film, but whether they will be ready to accept an idea which is not really a regular Vikram Jiva film idea is what I'm curious to see.
Okay. And your rating, should we see how much you've rated your film?
I rated my film even before it's released.
Yeah.
So I'm the first guy to rate it. So.
Take your note.
Yeah. Oh, I think, yeah. I think it's more dramatic, I will take it out. I give it a 7 out of 10.
You give it a 7 out of 10?
Yeah.
And for Shaitaan, how much would you give that?
Shaitaan, I would give a 5. Yeah.
5?
Okay.
So you've done
better. Get better, no? Yeah. Can't go lower.
That's good. So, who's going
I think that that divide that Bejoy said of, on one side there are these commercial pot boilers with stars that are coming out on one side, and there is this new kind of cinema that's coming in with newcomers. I think that divide should meet at a point where that line diffuses, and I think like what Vijay was saying, big stars doing different kind of cinema. I think that's what will make a major difference. See, for Kaadhalil Sothappuvathu, somebody like Siddharth and somebody like the big cinematographer like Neerav Shastra and Shashidhar and all backing that film, it made a lot of difference to take it to a larger audience straight away.
At some level, it's proof that there are still some stars who pick
correct. Yeah.
Your rating, let's see.
My rating is 7.8.
7.5. Okay, who wants to go next?
எனக்கு என்ன தோணுதுன்னா, இப்போ நான் நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்கிரிப்ட் எழுத ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணும்போது ஃபஸ்ட்டு எல்லாரும் கேட்குறாங்கன்னா யார் ஹீரோ.
ஓகே,
நான் இன்னும் கதையே ரெடி ஆகல, என்ன கதைன்னு கூட எனக்கு தெரியல. அப்புறமா விஷயம் என்னன்னா, அடுத்து காமெடி தானே அப்படின்றாங்க. காமெடி தானே என்னன்னா, அதுவும் இப்போ அது ஒரு ஃபார்முலாக்குள்ளே வந்து உக்காந்துருச்சு. திருப்பி நான் அடுத்து காமெடி பண்ணுறேன் அப்படின்னா நான் அடுத்து ஒரு காமெடி பண்ணுறேன். வேறு கதை இருக்குல்ல, அந்த மாதிரி கதை இங்கே எடுக்க முடியல, அது உண்மை. இப்போ உதாரணத்துக்கு நம்ம படத்துக்கு நான் ரொம்ப ஃப்ராங்காக சொன்னோம்னா, நடுவில் கொஞ்சம் பக்கத்துக்கு நான் எடுத்துகிட்டு ரொம்ப கஷ்டப்பட்டேன். ஒரு 1.5 மாதம் அந்த படத்தை பிஸ்னஸ் பண்ண முடியல. பார்க்குறவங்க எல்லாரும் யாருமே இல்லை, என்ன புது பசங்களெல்லாம் 2.5 மணி நேரம் உட்காந்து எவன் பார்ப்பான், ½ அன் ஹவர் தூக்குன்றாங்க. ½ அன் ஹவர் தூக்குறதுக்கு இது என்னது, எங்கே போய் தூக்குறதுண்ணா ½ அன் ஹவர். ரொம்ப ஓப்பனாக சொன்னால், இப்போ நம்ம நடுவில் கொஞ்சம் பக்கத்துக்கான ரிலீஸ் ஆனதுக்கு இன்னொரு பெரிய ப்ளஸ்ஸு பிஸா சக்ஸஸ் ஆகி, பிஸாக்கு முன்னாடியே நம்ம படம் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் காப்பி ரெடி. பிஸா அதுக்கப்புறம் பிஸா ரிலீஸ் ஆகி விஜய் சேதுபதினு ஒரு மார்க்கெட், ஒரு பிராண்டு, ஒரு ஸ்டார். அதான் நான் விஜய்கிட்ட சொன்னேன், ரொம்ப தேங்க்ஸ் கடைசியில் நம்ம படத்தை கடைசியில் பிஸ்னஸ் பண்ணிட்டீங்க, ரிலீஸ் பண்ணிட்டீங்க.
நாங்கள் வந்து when we are making pizza, the film is already over. So I was vouching to my producer telling, see, Naduvula Konjam Pakkatha Kaanom ரிலீஸ் ஆகும். So Vijay will have a market. கண்டிப்பாக when I actually was like telling my producer Vijay should be the hero ன்னு சொல்கிறப்போ
ரொம்ப ஓப்பனா அதுக்கு முன்னாடி நாங்கள் வச்ச போஸ்டர் எல்லாமே 4 பேசும் ஒன்றா இருக்க மாதிரி தான் ஃபோட்டோ எடுத்தேன். அப்புறமா ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காக பிஸா ரிலீஸ் ஆகி நம்ம படம் வரும்போது ஃபோட்டோ விஜய் போஸ்டை மட்டும் ஸ்கேல் பண்ணி மற்றவங்களாம் ஸ்கேல் டவுன் பண்ணி வர போஸ்டர்லாம் நமக்கே வேற மாதிரி இருக்குது, அதை மட்டும் தனியாக எடுத்து அப்படிதான் அது இருக்குது. அப்புறம் டக்குன்னு பார்த்தா இன்டர்வெல்ல நான் டிவிக்கு எடுத்த ஆம்லேட் போட்டா சாங் வந்து இன்டர்வெல்ல வேணும்னு கேட்குறாங்க. அது எதுக்குமே அங்கே வருது. அது 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 என்னன்னா ரொம்ப கஷ்டமாக இருக்கு. படம் கூட எடுத்துடலாம், ரிலீஸ் பண்ண முடியாது, ரொம்ப கஷ்டம்.
ஓகே, ஸோ யுவர் ரேட்டிங் ஃபார் த ஃபில்ம்?
எனக்கு அவர் படத்தோட ரேட்டிங் நான் நம்பர் பார்த்தோன்னே எனக்கு ரொம்ப ஜாஸ்தியாக போட்டேன்.
நானும் அதை பார்த்தேன்னு ஒரு கில்ட் ஃபீல்
எனக்கு வந்து நான் வந்து 8 போட்டேன்.
அதாவது say like I don't have anything to put on the table like changing Tamil cinema or like I want to be right from my childhood I want to be part of it, like make Tamil films which stories which interest me in the Malam. So that's what I wanted to make. Even in Pizza also it was the case, but as he said there were some problems before, like because after making the first copy when we actually showed to some production houses and all, so people all liked the film till the revealing part of the film, like where the film changes into a different genre. So after that the usual, I mean, some of the production houses who were like coming to buy the film, they didn't like it. So they said to change the climax into a normal, like something like Chandramukhi Madhi or climax. We need to show what the goal is and all. Like there are like many talks like that.
Okay.
But good thing is my producer was on my side, so we actually waited for some.
But did you have an alternative ending?
No.
They wanted?
I just told him, see, you read the script. I made what was there in the script. So no other option of changing it.
Okay.
So initial glitches was there before the release, basically for the new type of some sort of something to break, I mean some twist or something which is not the usual kind. So that problem was there not during making the film, because when I actually gave the script everyone liked it, producer liked it, the actor liked it, the cinema, all the team liked it, and we made the film, and when we saw the film we liked it. But when it came to the business part everyone had a doubt, I mean not me but the so I think that should change. I mean that's what should change, I think, like telling some daring stories or something very new, which is like not come. If that freedom is there, I think it'll be fine.
Okay.
That's what
it has to be somebody who's willing to take a risk, because anyway film movies are about the risk. Nobody knows what works.
Yeah, I mean basically so
what is your rating?
My rating is 7.
7?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said I'm saying.
I know you have strong views. You have I remember during our interview you said you have a problem that Tamil films take half the time to get to the point.
Yeah, that's true. பட் அதுக்காகலாம் நான் படம் பண்ண வரல, எனக்கு வேலை கிடைக்கல, நான் அப்படி படம் பண்ண மாட்டேன், அதான் உண்மை. பட் வந்ததுக்கு அப்புறமா
எப்படி பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க, எனக்கு அப்படி பண்றதுக்கு இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இல்லை, நான் இந்த மாதிரி பண்ணலாம்.
So there's place for everything.
Yeah,
it's not
definitely. And I think everything is just good in its own way. You can't say, I'm not a very rom-com person, but I didn't have an issue with Kaadhalil Sothappuvathu Yeppadi.
Okay.
நான் ஜென்ரலாக rom-coms பார்க்கவே மாட்டேன். I watched this movie, I watched your movie also. But படமே பார்க்க மாட்டேன். But I felt when you go to a movie, you just watch it with that. அந்த ஜானருக்கு
you keep the genre in mind and it has to do
because I think people have issues because I felt his movie was among all our movies. I think his movie was the best personally. I believe
you've seen
Naduvula, yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, okay.
I totally loved the film.
Okay.
And I've been telling it people like constantly, and I called him also and told him that I loved the
okay.
film. Thing is, why I came, I don't know. அது வேலை எதுவும் வேலை கிடைக்கல, அதனால வந்துட்டேன். But I don't எதுவும் சேஞ்ச் பண்ண அப்படிலாம் ஒன்றும் ஐடியாலாம் ஒன்றும் கிடையாது. You just do whatever comes to you.
Okay, you wanted to tap into a new genre.
No, not
even that.
Not even.
But this wasn't even there, so how did you... This genre wasn't even existent. So.
No, it was just this naming this or branding this movie as neo noir.
What is the other Tamil film which you would think of? Similar Tamil film? Some Shivaji, Andanal or something?
Andanal, yeah, I was about to say Andanal. Andanal, even... yeah, I think Andanal...
Was that at the back of your mind when you were writing it?
No.
So this is the story you wanted to say?
Yeah. You didn't have any... இந்த மாதிரி பண்ணலாம் ஒன்றும் ஐடியாவே இல்லை.
Actually, I think you're the perfect person to answer the next talking point, which is how important are stars? Because as we have seen that all of them required a star. Even they actually needed Bejoy Nambiar to actually finally make sure that the film got the extra mile. Otherwise, it would have come out, but it would have got good reviews, but maybe it wouldn't have. Now, with the experience of having got a film out, you got reviews, but the fact that in terms of box office, it must hurt, right? Or it doesn't hurt at all. So I want to know, now if you get a chance, how important do you think the star is for the script, and how much would you tweak? Where would you draw the line? How much would you change the script for a star?
What's your rating, man? I'm waiting for
Yeah. Rating is 7.
Oh yes, what was your rating?
7.
7.
அது ஒரு லக்கி நம்பர் மாதிரி எல்லாரும் அதுக்கு மேலே போனால் ரொம்ப திமிரா பேசணும், கீழே போனால் நமக்கே கேவலமாக இருக்கும். சேஃப் ஏரியா. பட் see stars, I don't think it's a big issue personally.
Okay.
See, his case is proper example. ஸ்டார்லாம் யாரும் இல்லை, பட் he made the movie. படம் நல்லா இருக்கு, எல்லாம் பார்க்குறாங்க. அது வரைக்கும் விஜய் சேதுபதி யாரும் கிடையாது. விஜய் சேதுபதி ஹிட் ஆனதுக்கு அப்புறமா அவருக்கு ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கு, ஆனால் அவர் காஸ்ட் பண்ணும்போதும் அது முக்கியமாக. ஸ்டார் இஸ் நாட் சம்திங் தட் வி ஷுட் பி வரிங் அபவுட். அது வந்து டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூட்டர்ஸோட இஷ்யூ. தே வில் ஆல்வேஸ் ஹேவ் அன் இஷ்யூ. ஈவன் இஃப் யூ டேக் அ ஸ்டார், அவருக்கு முன்னாடி 2 படம் ஃபெயிலியர் ஆயிடுச்சுன்னா he is not in the same league anymore. So எல்லாருக்கும் அதே ப்ராப்ளம் தான். So it doesn't mean
the box office results of your film, do they hurt you or you not?
It only hurts Sharan. எனக்கு ஒன்றும் பிரச்சனை இல்லை. Seriously, இல்ல நிஜமா எனக்கு.
So you really don't want more people to watch your film, because let's not look at it as money, but also that the more people watched it.
Definitely.
Because there is a connection with the collections, right? More people watch it. Every storyteller wants more people to watch it, right?
அது எல்லா படமுமே அப்படிதான் எடுக்கிறாங்க. And it doesn't happen to anyone. It is box office success is almost as I can equate it to crows sitting on our heads. It's just one of those things. It might happen, it might not happen. It's not in our hands.
Okay.
நம்ம நடந்துட்டே இருக்கலாம் ரோட்ல, காக்கா தலையில போட்டா வந்து அவ்வளவுதான்.
So that's not going to change your perception about the star. Even now, script is.
No, I don't mind. ஸ்டார் வச்சு எடுக்கக்கூடாது அப்படிலாம் ஒன்றுமே கிடையாது. ஆனால் அது இல்லைன்னா படமே பண்ண முடியாது அப்படின்னு ஒன்று கிடையாது. எல்லா அந்த ஸ்டார்ஸ்க்கும் ஒரு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் மூவி இருந்துச்சுல, அந்த மாதிரி தான். We can always pick up somebody and make them a star. So
how much did you have to change the script for the stars? Because there's a Vikram and there's.
Not at all.
Nothing?
That was never, not even one scene or one dialogue today. I had to alter it to suit.
And you hadn't even consulted them while writing it, or did you keep them in mind writing it?
It was definitely, I had Vikram's in mind when I was pitching it to him.
Okay.
In fact, I was pitching him another role, but then he wanted to do this one. So then I had to think whether will it work or not.
Okay.
And then once I was convinced with it, then I again went back to it.
Okay.
That worked out. And with Jiva again, I didn't have to. He had 1 or 2 reservations about certain things, which I was very strong about. Those had to be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those had to be addressed the way it was written.
Okay.
So we went in with that. He went with my conviction.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't. I mean, then, like I said, then if you're writing for a start, then you start altering it for them.
Yeah.
Then you're not really.
So you didn't put in any fight scenes because you had these two mainstream heroes.
Come on. then you put an item song also.
Would you make another film without a star now?
Yeah, I would definitely.
You would.
Yeah, I would. Doesn't make a difference, I think. What works for the film, if a star being in a certain film affects the content of the film, then I think you should go the other way also. That also would do it.
Yeah. Sometimes the stars become a baggage.
Yeah, sometimes the things that people expect from a certain hero that might work against you for a certain kind of.
Yeah.
I think this changing things for the sake of a star is obviously wrong. I think if you really need a star to carry a film, and then you should find a star who is okay with your script.
Okay.
So you can't go to a star and he's not happy with it, and you can't keep pushing him.
You didn't write it with a star in mind,
No,
right? You just wrote it as a character. You wrote it with a star.
I wrote it.
Yeah, but just this case, but not with Shaitaan.
No, but even in this case, this was actually Hindi script.
Okay.
Then when Kenny agreed to be part of it, then we thought of an opportunity. Okay, why not? Let's try and see if we can do it in Tamil. So initially, that was like a later on process.
Okay.
So if you ask me, because Kenny is completely new in Hindi, so it was not writing as a star, I was writing with an actor in mind. Because I actually really like him as an actor.
Okay. You were next cover star wise number போறீங்களா இல்ல
இல்ல அப்படின்னு இல்லை கதை முடிச்சிட்ட அப்புறமா யாருன்னு ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம்.
ஆனால் எழுதும்போது ஸ்டார் மனசில்
அப்படிலாம் பண்ணிக்கலாம். இந்த படம் கூட யாரையும் மைண்டில் வச்சுலாம் பண்ண முடியும். கதை முடிச்சிட்ட அப்புறமா ஆடிஷன் பண்ணி யாருக்கு செட் ஆனாலும்.
ஓகே.
Say I finish the script and I need to wait for someone for like 2 months. I wouldn't be able to do it. So அதனால அது பயமா இருக்கு to both. That's the only factor. Other than that, if a guy is very good actor and he's a star and he fit into my script, definitely I'd like to work. But the thing is, like, there's a long break between the schedules that will affect me. I mean, as a director, I just feel like it should go on. Like if we start the shooting, it should the guy should be in the film. That will be better for me. I don't know, but I'm not sure that will be like very realistic to happen here.
Practical.
I should maybe get used to it.
So my next question is, how much time is enough for you to crack the script? How much time do you think is enough? Where do you say the script is ready? Let's start with the guy who takes the most time.
I'm not getting ideas. I'm going to work on that. I hardly rewrite, so it's everything gets formed and then I write it. So it's so I think it's taking time to just get that full time.
Person and also each script. Sometimes take time. Some scripts comes in flow sometimes.
So for David, you have this different structure. How did it come about?
Cracked the story even before Shaitaan. David was written before Shaitaan. The story was developed before Shaitaan. But I knew for a very sure that nobody's going to give me money to make a film like that. That's the first film.
Okay.
Then Shaitaan happened. Not that people gave me money for Shaitaan, but at least that was a smaller film, smaller canvas, so that at least took off. So once Shaitaan got the, whatever.
How much time did it take you to write Shaitaan or David?
Shaitaan took almost a year to write.
A year to write?
Right.
And David?
David took, because the story had already been cracked, then it took just a matter of 6 months.
6 months. And Aaranya Kaandam, how long did you keep?
2 months.
2 months?
See, that's the thing. It depends on the script. Depends on.
So you wrote your first film in 2 months, but your second film it's been 2 years almost that you.
But I guess it's also that.
Pressure.
No, 30 years of living, you just put it in 2 months, so you just make it. The next one, you need to get that experience to write the next one.
You don't need to live another 30 years.
I don't know.
What about you?
That is same there. For me, KSY took around a year to write it completely. So I did some 6 slides. My 6th draft was the final full draft of it, and then I kept working on the dialogues.
But at what point did you know it was ready?
I think you reach a point where after a point when you keep tweaking it, it becomes a little too much. You start spoiling it. So I think somewhere you have to draw the line.
You write yourself as well.
I write.
You write yourself. You always hire a writer to collaborate.
I write with someone always. Yeah. Okay.
So you know at what point it's done. You can't do more.
Yeah.
Or is it like if you were given another 6 months, you would take it somewhere else?
No. I think
there is a finality. Yeah. Scripts can be completed. It's not abandoned like films.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
இப்போ அவர் சொன்ன மாதிரி அந்த ஐடியா வரதுக்கு ரொம்ப டைம். ஐடியா வந்த அப்புறம் எழுதுறது வந்து அது கொஞ்சம் சோம்பேறித்தனமாக இல்லாமல் இருந்தால் ஒரு 1.5 month அது வரது தான் டைம்.
Okay. So only laziness stands between you and the script. What about you?
Yeah, pizza I took very less time basically. Just ஒரு ஐடியா வந்துச்சு. Okay, I felt like I should write and finish it fast. And all like it didn't require much of research or to study something. Nothing. So it just took very less time. But the one now I'm writing now, நான் ஏற்கனவே ஒரு draft முடிச்சு வச்சிட்டேன். That took at least 4 months to write that draft. So I mean, as Balaji said, depends on what kind of film you're going to make.
Okay. So when you're writing, you already know that you have to plan for an interval block, which is almost like a mini climax. And then there are also the song sequences, which are the market demands, because without songs, it's difficult to promote the film. So given all these things, what is your personal take on this? Do you find it restrictive, or do you see it as a challenge to do something creative with it?
I think it's a little restrictive because you're like pretty much making 2 films. You have to build up, you have to reach the climax with the second half, and then once the interval gets over, you again start, setting off momentum, and then you have to reach another climax at the end. So that I find it a little burdening.
That's probably because people judge the film halfway point, right? Is the film good or not? I think there's pressure on you to like make sure that the interval point is a.
You have to use it to your benefit. Okay, that's how you kind of you work your way around the script.
Is that why you're having 2 stories or?
There you go.
No, I 3, but it's not like that, right?
You can. If you have that in mind already, then obviously you'll try and work your way around it to give you that kind of a fully satisfied feeling for the first half, and then take off.
Songs you don't have a problem with.
As long as you don't take it to mind, I think.
Yeah.
You don't have a problem. You don't have a problem. You have a problem with songs?
Not in others' films, but in my film I have. Seriously. No, I can definitely watch. See, I think I can't imagine a Maniratnam film without a song.
Okay.
Because I expect the song to be there, and I think I enjoy the song. But I didn't need a song in his film, so I was just okay with it. Truth be told, I didn't even expect a song in his film, but I think I don't know why he had it. He had his own reasons.
I had it. I mean, I wanted a song basically. ஒரு பாட்டு இருக்கணும் அப்படின்றத I just had in mind, okay, that should be, I had in mind, okay. So for that's the reason actually, to be honest, first Pizza there was no heroine, just like a guy ஒரு இது அந்த மாதிரி தான் இருந்துச்சு. But then I wanted, okay, we'll have one song, and I decided, okay, we'll have one song, so there can be a bit of romance in it. But then this story came up, okay.
For the song, the girl came in.
For the song, the girl came in. Since the girl came in, the twist came.
So the heroine know that. Does the heroine know that?
No. Okay. Song montage யோசிக்கிறது it's very very painful for me.
Okay. Shooting is also very.
Yeah, shooting a dance even, because we planned to shoot a promo song Pizza, and till the end we didn't do it because I didn't get any idea.
Okay.
ஒரு கான்செப்ட் ஏதாவது ஒன்று சொல்லுங்க, ப்ரொமோ சாங் ஒரு கான்செப்ட் சொல்லுங்கன்னாங்க. I didn't get till the film released. Okay. So it was like I outsourced it to a college guy. That guy stood up the entire thing. But about the interval point, I would say it's a challenging thing, because for some films I enjoyed the interval point. I mean, it gives me 10 minutes to like enjoy the film. Like for example, inge solnuna like for Aaranya Kaandam, the interval point was like some important like in old films, like see Basha out interval point, and the interval I was excited to go and watch, and so that's kind of a challenge, I would say, in an hour for cinema. So even when I write the script, or interval point வந்து அது இருக்கணும். interval முடிஞ்சு போகும்போது படத்தை பற்றி பேசணும். People should talk about our film, not like something else.
இன்ட்ரோல் பிளாக் எனக்கு சொல்கிற மாதிரி எனக்கு இன்ட்ரோல் பிளாக் பெரிய பிரச்சனையாக தெரியல. இன்ட்ரோல் பிளாக் என்னென்னா, ஆனால் சாங்ஸ் எனக்கு என்னென்னா, சில கதைக்கு சாங்ஸ் தேவைப்படுது. இந்த படத்தை நான் ஃபஸ்ட்டு இதுக்கு முன்னாடி ஒரு ஷார்ட் ஃபிலிம் எடுத்தேன், சில்ட்ரன்ஸ் ஃபிலிம். அதில் நான் ½ ஃபிலிமில் 2 சாங் இருக்குது. ஏன்னா அந்த படத்தில் சாங் தேவைப்பட்டுச்சு, ஒரு சம்மர் லீவில் நடக்கிற கதை நிறைய. இந்த படத்தில் எனக்கு சாங்கே வைக்க முடியல. ஒரு சொல்கிற மாதிரி சாங் வைக்கிறத யோசிச்சாலே பயமாக இருக்குது. யாராவது கேட்டுருவாங்களோ, ஹோம்ஒர்க் முடிச்சிட்டியான்னு கேட்குற மாதிரி பயமாக இருக்குது. அதனால் அந்த சுச்சுவேஷனை அவாய்ட் பண்ணிகிட்டே இருக்குது. நான் எங்கேயுமே வைக்க முடியாது. அது மாதிரி சாங் வந்து கதைக்கு டிமாண்ட் தான். ஹீரோ மாதிரி தான், கதைக்கு வேணும்னா வேணாம்னா வேண்டாம், அந்த ஃப்ரீடம் வேணும்.
Now, women characters. In Tamil cinema, there are very few films that actually have scope for women. But I've noticed that your film had, your film, interestingly, you probably don't even realize, you actually had a live-in relationship shown in Tamil cinema, which is like really unique, which actually made the character so real. Your film was more a bachelor film, so it probably didn't need the women, because like in a Hangover kind of a film, you don't need the women. But what is your assessment? Why don't we have women in our films? Is that something you consciously think about?
But I think the films that are remembered a lot are films which have even in recent times, Pathiveeran had a strong women character. Manisha's films always have a strong. Balasandar's films even in older times have strong. I think some people just don't do it. If it's done, people like it.
But do you make a conscious effort to make sure your women are well defined? Like Gautam Menon always makes sure that his women are so unique, and in fact you can almost like say now you can say a Gautam Menon heroine will be wearing a sari or whatever. It's come to that level now. But modern, you expect a few traits out of it. Do you think when you're writing women characters, how do you approach them? Because you guys are all men, so I'm really curious. How do you approach them?
I don't think there is any like agenda when you're writing that okay, now I have to define this woman appropriately. I think, at least for personally speaking, I let the content drive. I let the story drive whether the character requires what the character requires.
For you, it was mostly your girlfriend's inspiration, right?
No. Just whatever what little understanding I had of women, I can do this.
What about you, Kumar?
I'm surprised he's married.
Yeah, but I totally agree with what he says. I don't have any difference between male character and a female character. It's just a character. And all the characters behave the same. In movie, characters. And people I know also, like the women that I know, they're also like that. They're also very bold, very courageous. And I don't see any difference between the male friends and the female friends. So I'm straight.
It's not like when you were writing it, you thought that okay, now I have to make this girl.
No.
You know, exactly. You read the story kind of guide.
You do that for all characters.
Yeah,
exactly. You do the same.
So, அப்படி பொண்ணுங்களுக்கு தனியாக டிஃபைன் பண்ணுறதுமே தப்பு. அப்படி நான் அப்படி ஒன்றும் just right.
And you
agree with you.
இது ரொம்ப சிம்பிளா இருக்கு.
No, you actually decided to push the envelope and have a live-in relationship. Was people okay with that?
Yeah, because that's one reason, because it was not a love story, so I didn't have any time to show like how they got in the relationship and another constraint was I don't have a space in the script to show their backdrop. Or I also don't want them to be married because they want to get married in the film.
Okay.
That's the point where they go to the next stage, and that's one of the reasons where they think to settle in life by taking a lot of money and all. So they need to get married, and I don't want to show their family background, and I don't have time to show their.
No, but I'm talking about like in a Tamil film setup, like sex is taboo. People don't have sex before marriage. Like for example, even when Mani Ratnam shooting his sex scenes, the tali is always there for you to know that it is licensed, legal sex. So even a Mani Ratnam has to do that. So to actually treat it as a matter of fact, you didn't even make a big deal about the fact that they were living in, they were having sex.
Yeah, it didn't actually. பெருசாக எழுதும் மூலம் அது புதுசாக இது கொண்டு வரணுன்றலாம் it was not very intentional.
Okay, Balaji, for you the controversial question. In your film, you're actually showing that the girl is getting married to a guy who's had a short-term memory loss. So, idu ungalku thappa theriyala when you were actually treating it. The girl being hidden one important crucial fact about the guy. When you were writing it, did you think that was bad?
அந்த ஆங்கில யோசிக்கிறேன். உண்மையில யோசிக்கிறேன்.
Okay, you didn't think it was right or wrong, but it's sanctioned because it happened to your friend.
அது ஒன்றும் அப்புறம் எனக்கு அது தப்பா தெரியல. எனக்கு நான் என்ன லாஜிக் யோசிச்சேன்னா அவங்க கல்யாணம் நடக்கலனா தான் அந்த பொண்ணு ரொம்ப வருத்தப்பட்டுருவாங்க.
Flip side.
Yeah. So finally, I want to ask you guys. So you've written a script. You've spent a lot of time writing it, and then you get this inputs in the chaos. Some from the actor, some from the environment, and some from this one. So, are you a stickler for the script, or do you think a film evolves in the course of the shooting, or should be given the freedom to evolve even in the course of editing?
I think director should be extremely confident to let the film evolve.
Okay.
And I don't think I'm in that stage. I want everything to be in paper before I go for the shoot. And I will not take any suggestion from anyone because they will not know the mood of the film.
Okay.
And they will not know the harmony of the film, or whatever I would like to call it, the harmony of the film. Once maybe if I'm so confident to let people evolve or involve people in the creation process, then probably I can do that. Not at this moment.
So I would actually listen to a lot of suggestions. I don't go and ask for suggestions, but if something comes up, like an actor, like for example in Pizza, and Vijay said, I had told some, so like as Kumar said, I know like what is required in the script and what is the thing in the script. So sometimes it has gone overboard and you would have told something which is not at all relevant. So I'll just deny it and I'll say it's not required for it. But something had come up very good on the set or even during the editing. So I think that freedom is required, but you should know like where to stop or which one to take in and not take.
Okay.
Bang on. That's what for me personally, that's how it works.
So did you keep getting inputs from
I get
your actors?
in fact, I welcome inputs.
You welcome?
I look at it another way.
Yeah.
And then it's your call whether you want to take that or not. Let them give it. But if you shun them away, then maybe that might work against you. So I let them give it.
Okay.
That does not mean that you conform to it and you have to take it. So I'm open to feedback, but then ultimately it's a call that you need to take. Because like you said, no one knows your film better than you have written it. You know what you're... And maybe the actor does not even, or maybe the technician or whoever it is, they don't really attach to that kind of sensibility. They might just attach to that particular in isolation. They might not see the bigger picture which you are looking at. So it really depends on how much you want to take.
Okay.
You need to know what you want very well to input, to accommodate suggestions that come your way. To know whether the suggestion is right or wrong, you need to know your product well. So in that way, I'm a little paranoid as to I need to know, like he said, exactly what is going to happen tomorrow and this morning till pack up what is going to happen in the shoot. I need to know exactly. I do my short divisions, each and every move that the actor has to do. I plan it and go there, but I don't shut off suggestions. When it comes, I know that this works for the film and I take it. If it doesn't work for the film, I let it out.
And
அவங்க சொல்கிற மாதிரி தான் ஒரு ஸ்கிரிப்டை பவுண்ட் பண்ணிட்டு அப்புறமா நானாக போய் யார்ட்டையும் கொடுக்காம அவங்களாம் வரும்போது இப்போ இந்த படத்தில் எப்படி நடந்ததுன்னா வந்து சொன்ன உடனே சம்டைம்ஸ் நம்ம அதை லிசன் பண்ணிட்டா ஓகேவான்னு வேறு கேட்பாங்க நம்ம ஓகே இல்லை அப்படின்னா அதனால் என்ன பண்ணுறது இது ஒரு ஐடியா மாதிரியே ஒரு அசிஸ்டன்ட் வந்து சொல்ல நோட் பேடில் டைப் பண்ணி வச்சுருக்கேன் அவங்க நேம் போட்டு எனக்கு ஒரு டைம் கொடுங்க அப்படின்னு ஆக்சுவலி அப்படி பண்ணிவிட்டு பவுண்ட் ஸ்கிரிப்ட் முடிச்சுட்டு ஒரு 2-3 டேஸ் எடுத்து யாரெல்லாம் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் ஸ்கிரிப்ட் படிக்கணும்னு கேட்டாங்க. ஈவன் ஆக்டர் விஜய் சேதுபதி ஃப்ரெண்டு கேமராமேன் பிரேமி எல்லாருமே படிச்சுட்டு அப்புறமா அவங்களோட சஜஷனை ஆக்சுவலி அது நிறைய சஜஷனில் ஒரு 3-4 விஷயம் உள்ளே வந்துச்சு. இன்புட் உள்ள யூஸபுளாக இருந்துச்சு. ஆக்சுவலி ரொம்ப இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்காக இருந்துச்சு. அப்புறமா சொல்கிற மாதிரி அதே தான், பட் ரிகர்சலில் எடிட்டிங்கில் ஒரு ஸ்டெப் இம்ப்ரவைஸ் ஆகும். சிவாஜி செத்துட்டாரான்னு சொல்லிட்டு அப்படி கண்ணாடி கட்டி பார்க்குறதுனா ரிகர்சலில் விஜய் இம்ப்ரவைஸ் பண்ணுறது. அப்புறம் ஒரு டைலாக் ஏதாவது விஜய் இம்ப்ரவைஸ் பண்ணுறது ரிகர்சலில். எடிட்டர் கொஞ்சம் ஒரு தேவையில்லாமல் கொஞ்சம் தூக்கினா இன்னும் அதே மாதிரி இம்ப்ரவைசேஷன்ஸ்.
I think it will also help me to judge some people. Because usually when someone gives a suggestion, I would actually know like okay, like in sync. At least they have given me a warning telling you should be careful with this guy.
You shouldn't go like that. You should be able to ready to tell people instructions that do. You shouldn't expect people to come up with something on the spot. You should be ready to tell them what to do.
So finally, to sum up, I want to understand who are your role models and what is the kind of cinema which you want to do but you've not got a chance to do, or anything that is stopping you from doing it.
Just my second film, so it's not like
No, your role models. So your
role models. There are many filmmakers that you look up to, and so many over here, so many from world cinema that you look up to. So there are many role models as I feel. So there's no one in isolation that I can think of. One of my most favorite directors who I have had a chance to work with is Mani sir. So his films, I've grown up watching his films. As a role model, I would definitely he would be the number one as such. But then,
But you don't want your film to reflect your role models, right? That's what I'm trying to understand. That's what the idea of the question is.
In fact, I think that would be damaging that. You know, if you try and kind of just riff off his style, that's not really an homage to your role model. You were to actually take the best out of it and take it a few steps further.
Okay.
That would be the way I would look at it.
Okay.
And in terms of your second part of the question, was you saying that what kind of films we would like to do and not
Which you're not able to do in the current climate.
See, you asked me why I did a film with stars.
Yeah.
The subject itself was the way I had written it. It needed scale. I would have loved to do it with newcomers and stage it, but then nobody would fund it. You know? So to make the project feasible, I had to take an approach wherein I get some stars to endorse so that I get that scale. I get that canvas to do the film the way I want to do it. So there's no compromise on that.
Okay.
So going forward, I think a lot of times what happens, I've seen it. A lot of my friends, when they're writing with that in mind, saying that okay, I might only get this much to do it. So then that starts telling on the way you're writing.
இந்த மாதிரி படம் பண்ண அப்படின்னா ஐயோ சொல்கிற பாயிண்ட் ரொம்ப நல்லா இப்போ நம்ம படமே அந்த பட்ஜெட்டுன்றதுனால எடுக்க முடியுது 1 crore ரிஸ்க் லெவல் கம்மி அப்படின்றதுனால இப்போ ஒரு நல்ல ஒரு பெரிய ஸ்கேல் உள்ள படம் நியூ ஃபேஸ் வந்து நானே இப்போ ப்ரொடியூசர்கிட்ட சொல்ல மாட்டேன். ஏன்னா எப்படி ப்ரொடியூசர் பிஸ்னஸ் ஆகும், பிஸ்னஸ் ஆகவே ஆகாது. ஒரு பெரிய படத்தோட பட்ஜெட்டு தான் நம்ம படத்தோட பிஸ்னஸாகவே இருக்கும், வர லாபமே அவ்வளோதான் இருக்கும். அதனால் சொல்ல முடியாது, அந்த விஷயம் இங்கே இருக்குது. அதே மாதிரி எனக்கு தெரியல அடுத்த படம் எடுத்துட்டு ஓடுமா ஓடல. எனக்கு ஆரண்ய காண்டம் எனக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிச்சது. எனக்கு புரியல அந்த படம் ஏன் ஓடுது. ஆக்சுவலி எனக்கு பயமாக இருக்குது, அந்த விஷயம்லாம் கொஞ்சம் பயமாக இருக்குது.
ரோல் மாடல்
நிறைய பேர் எனக்கு இங்கே மகேந்திரன் பாலு மகேந்திரா ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும். அப்புறமா பாதிராஜா, அப்புறம் பாதிராஜா இங்கே நிறைய பேர் கப்போலா ரோமன் பலான்ஸ்கி அவர் நான் பார்த்த படங்கள்.
Okay, role model Mahendran sir, Mani sir, and then like Anurag Kishore. There I like Clint Eastwood, Coen Brothers, Tarantino. I look for a lot of films and a lot of people.
It's the worst thing to ask a filmmaker. Your favorite film, role model.
No, not favorite film, but role model I think is somebody who
that talks about your
spiritual guru.
Yeah.
Like he's your guru at some level, right? Your role model as far as cinema is concerned. Some part of his DNA would be embedded in your thing, whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not.
That's right.
சம்டைம் ரைட்டர்ஸ் கூட ரோல் மாடலாக இருப்பாங்க. அது ரொம்ப இன்ஸ்பிரேஷன். இப்போ அசோகமித்ரன் ரொம்ப இன்ஸ்பிரேஷன். ரொம்ப அவர் கதை படிக்கும்போதெல்லாம் இப்படியும் கதை இருக்கலாம், இப்படியும் ஸ்டோரி இருக்கலாம்.
I mean, எல்லாரையுமே பிடிக்கும் அதனால.
Okay. Yeah. But I think you mentioned this before. You said you like films but not
not the
directors. Because you're saying that
they may not be consistent. The film is so good, like that.
Okay. What about you?
Big shift to people. But I have this fascination for writer-directors.
Okay.
And people like Woody Allen and Tarantino and Coen Brothers and people who write their own stuff. I somehow idolize on those kind of people. That product should start from here, from me, and there's this one interview that Tarantino said, if I wasn't born, my lives didn't meet and I wasn't born, then Inglourious Basterds wouldn't exist in this world. So I kind of look up to that sort of an attitude towards making a film, creating something from scratch from that blank piece of paper. So that is something that I hope I don't let go a bit at some point where I can't think of ideas. Let me just pick up something and do it. I might come to that stage, but at least for now I have that goal in mind that I should write and I should create.
Okay. I know I've been saying final question, but
This is the final question.
this is definitely the final question. The music is a big part of your promotions as far as David is concerned. And music, there was a very distinctive style about the way you used your background score. It did help you sell your film. You approached it like a musical. So I want to understand, how do you work with music? Who is the right kind of music, or what is the right kind of music, or what kind of music is needed? How do you demystify the art of Bejoy. It's a different art, right? That is definitely the final question.
You had songs, no? Initially. I remember you telling me.
Yeah. I still have song. Still have the audio. Still have the audio, but budget illa. On the other side, I also had another song. Sampath and the Jeep and Egri Gudsi over and the song starts. If I do a music piece for 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes music piece. But it was originally a song where Sampath is running on one side, Subbu Sappa making out in the bed, and Ayya is in the rooster fight, and Kodika Pulikalan are coming to the rooster fight. It's random things happen, but on the moment, and where time slows down for Sampath alone. Normal speed, Sampath only slow motion because he needs to be there in time, but it is not possible. The reference உடுக்கை இழந்தவன் கை போல் அங்கே எடுக்குன்னு கலைவதான் நட்பு தான் ஐடியா. அது என்னன்னா ஒருத்தன் துணி கலந்துச்சுன்னா டக்குன்னு கை வந்துடும் அப்படின்றது திருக்குறள்ல இருக்கு இல்லையா. பட் he could have said மின்னல் மாதிரி கை வரணும் அப்படின்லாம் சொல்லிருக்கலாம். பட் மின்னலுக்கு வந்து இன்டென்ஷனே கிடையாது, கைக்கான இன்டென்ஷன் இருக்கு அவசரமாக மறைக்கணும்னு. ஸோ அதனால எவ்வளோ ஃபாஸ்ட்டாக பிடிச்சிடணும்னா கை வரும். பட் அதுக்குன்னு ஒரு லிமிடேஷன், இதுதான் ஐடியா இருக்குல்ல. ஸோ தட்ஸ் வாட் ஐ எக்ஸ்பிளைன் டு யுவன். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கணும் அந்த சாங்கு. ஸோ ரெஸ்ட்ரிக்டட் ஸ்பீடு மிட் டெம்போவில் வச்சுக்கலாம், அப்படி வச்சுட்டு ஸ்பீட் ரெஸ்ட்ரிக்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாம். ஸோ தட் தி ஸ்லோ மோஷன் ஃபீல்ஸ் எக்ஸாஜரேட்டட். கடைசியில் அது பண்ணல. பட் இதுதான் இந்த சாங்கான ஐடியா வந்து.
But for score you specifically made them redo it.
Yeah. Score was totally different because I had everything in my mind. So I was just telling him இந்த மாதிரி மூட்ல போயிடலாம், ஒரு பீசஸ் மட்டும் அப்படி போயிடலாம்னு சொல்லி பிளான் பண்ணேன்.
I used to give a lot of references because I don't know anything about music or the ragam or instrument, or I don't know anything that. So but I know what kind of thing,
mood you want to create.
Yeah, mood, and then even the sound. I mean I don't know the instruments or what kind of, but in the mari or sound, so I would actually explain them. So if he's not able to understand something, I will just tell him some references. So romba kashtam for the music director to so but I majorly rely upon them. I mean.
Okay.
படத்தில் சாங் இல்லை, அது ப்ரொமோ சாங். அது என்னன்னா அது ஒரே வார்த்தை, பெப்பியா ஒரு ப்ரொமோ சாங் போடுங்க போட்டாரு, இன்னும் பெப்பி இன்னும்.
So that's a good thing. If you tell them item, they know what to do. You don't know. There's no other further brief.
டைட்டில் சாங் மட்டும் ஒரு ரெஃபரன்ஸ் சொன்ன மாதிரி இந்த மைக்கேல் மான் காமராஜன்ல கதைகள் அந்த ரெஃபரன்ஸ் சொல்லி தான் ஒரு 4 பேரோட கதை சொல்ற மாதிரி இருக்கும். பேக்ரவுண்ட் எனக்கு இதில் ரொம்ப பெரிய லெசனாக இருந்துச்சு. எனக்கு பேக்ரவுண்டே எனக்கு படம் பார்த்தோன்னே சரி, நான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் எனக்கு வந்து இதில் எங்கெல்லாம் போடுவாங்க அப்படின்ற மாதிரி தான் எனக்கு தோணுச்சு. எனக்கு தெரியாது எங்கெல்லாம் பேக்ரவுண்ட் போடுவாங்கன்ற மாதிரி தான் இருந்துச்சு. அதனால நான் படத்தை ஃபுல்லாக அவங்க என்ஜாய் பண்ணுறாங்கன்ற மட்டும் நான் பார்த்துக்கிட்டேன். ஏன்னா படத்தை கரெக்டான சமயத்தில் என்ஜாய் பண்ணுறாங்களா, ஏன்னா அதே என்ஜாய் பண்ணலன்னா அப்புறம் எங்கே மியூசிக் போட போகிறாங்க. அதனால் படம் பார்க்கும்போது அப்பப்போ அவங்க பேச மட்டும் பார்த்துக்கிட்டேன் ரூமில் அவங்க எடிட் சொல்லி. அப்புறம் ஒரு 2 வீக்ஸ் முடிச்சிட்டேன். 2 வீக்ஸ் அவங்க போட்டு முடிச்சதுக்கப்புறம் போனால் நிறைய இடம் ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்தது, நிறைய இடம் டோட்டலாக நமக்கு சம்மந்தமே இல்லாமல் இருந்தது. நாம் நினைப்போம் அது வேறு மாதிரி இருந்தது. அப்புறமா ஒரு 2 வீக்ஸ் அவர் கூடயே வந்து ஆர்டிஸ்ட்டுக்கு மூடு சொல்கிற மாதிரி, இந்த இடத்துல இதான் மூடு, இந்த இடத்துல சேஞ்ச் ஓவர் இப்படி ஆகுது, சேஞ்ச் ஓவர் பாயிண்ட் சொல்லி எனக்கு இங்கே ஸ்டார்ட் ஆனால் போக அவர்கிட்ட கற்றுக்கிட்டு அப்புறம் நமக்கே அவர் டிக்டேட் பண்ணுறாங்க. இல்லை எனக்கு கொஞ்சம் அப்புறம் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுங்க, எனக்கு இங்கே ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணால் அந்த மாதிரி பண்ணி. ஆனால் அதான் ரொம்ப, ஆனால் கடைசியில் எனக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிச்சிருந்தது.
Yeah, so there's a process of learning.
ஆமாம்.
And then you use the same process to teach them on what you want.
I think the whole of David, I think there's just 2 songs that we made for the film.
Okay.
Everything else has been just collated, because, from the stuff that they're already published, already released, and stuff that they were already working on.
Okay.
So I collected and then I fit it into the film. That's how it kind of works. Yeah, for me, it works like that. I like.
Like everybody talks about how you used Koya Chan. That's a super example. How did that come about? I'm sure it wasn't in the script when you wrote it, right?
It was.
It was?
Koya Chan was not there. It was Lakdi Ki Kaati.
Okay.
It was written with Lakdi Ki Kaati in mind. And there's a whole thing, Doda Doda. That's why you see in the sequence that people running around.
Oh, okay.
It was that. But when I went to Mikey with that, and Mikey said, okay, fine. But what Mikey said was that it's such a sweet song that you would not want to have like a jazzed up version of it. Either you keep it the way it is. So I thought, okay, then maybe let's do that. Maybe let's get the original and just keep it the way it is. And we were thinking of doing that when he just played me some of the stuff that he had already made. And that's when Boy Chan just fit into the edit and it just fit like a glove. And then I didn't want to look back. I said, this is it. So we didn't even cut it to the song. The edit was already there, we just placed the song on it.
Okay.
So it just worked. Sometimes things just
So
come
you
together.
actually look for different pieces and sees what works
What
best.
works was best.
But you had a rough idea that you wanted a song. That much was there.
In fact, I use a lot of song as background score. My background score is very limited. I use a lot of songs, which is why
You got Remo for Maria Pitache for this one.
I remember doing 2 songs in one Maria Pitache, which Maria Pitache now it's like a very old Goan folk song.
Okay.
It's a very popular song. It's sung in every Goan wedding.
I think it's interesting to incorporate music that somebody else created individually as a creative process and incorporate. That's how it's generally done in world cinema and all that. But here we don't have that separate kind of a music industry where a lot of independent artists making it, and they are making it, but it's not heard outside. I mean, we don't get to hear it. It's quite surprising that he's able to reach these kind of songs and music and incorporate an instance. Because when you're writing, you sort of think of certain songs when you're doing a sequence, and it comes to your mind and you put it down sometimes. And if it's very easy and it's perfect if you can just pick that out and place it in your film. I think that situation is not there right now.
It's a massive struggle, I must tell you. It's a massive
Find
struggle,
people.
not just to find people, to convince people, to convince music companies, to convince your financiers and producers to let you use it. Because obviously, when you have one person doing it, you're dealing with that one person and that's it. You have so many different people that you deal with, and because of the new copyright laws, it becomes very difficult. So it's very challenging. In fact, it almost makes me feel like, what, I shouldn't have done it. I should just stick to one. But then, what you get out of it is something so special. You want to still push for that. So hopefully more and more films will do that. Then the process will become easier. But right now, it's quite a challenge.
Yeah, but as he says, the product that might come out of that kind of process might be, I don't know, something different or something very.
No, but you had a reference. You decided to treat it like a musical, right? The songs.
Not really that
or was it only at the choreography level?
I think it was only in the sort of the making of the song. That was only in those 2 songs where the Parvati where they suddenly break into a song, and that hospital song, that one I had pretty much wrote the lyrics and all that when I written the script. So I just made it. I had the song in mind and we made it. I choreographed it myself also, that big song alone.
Okay.
Those 2 songs alone I had thought of it as a musical. The other two songs were just background songs that helped, push the.
Okay, but you sat with them and said what you wanted.
Yeah, I play the keyboard a bit, okay. So I have a sort of little bit of music knowledge that halfway through, sort of music knowledge. So, but I mean, you need to know when to let your music director, come up with his own ideas. He knows that you explain the situation to him. He understands.
You have to, at some level, you have to trust
the music director.
Okay.
I must say, he taught me how to cut stuff on music.
Okay.
He was the first guy who showed me how that any sequence, for that matter, when you're trying to. I think it was my first experience when I was shooting a song. We were doing something together.
Doing together.
We were directing a film together and
in Gateway.
Yeah, in Gateway. And I told him, let's just put it together with music. And he said, no, you can't just put it together. You need a rhythm to cut it. I said, why? It's all there. Let's just put all the shots together and paste a song onto it.
But wasn't he really young then? What? 18?
Still young, man. Look at that.
He's still young.
He's like old time.
17, right?
No, Gateway I was 20.
20.
Okay, so he taught me how to cut stuff on rhythm. He was the first one who told me how rhythm can be used to edit.
All editors, I was an editor, so I told them.
But still, it was something, for me, it was a new experience. I learned.
Okay, the concluding remark is not really a question per se.
Hey, you said over.
It's just a remark.
No, this is just to tie up a loose
Tie-
end. This is to tie up a loose end which we introduced in the first scene, which is your rating. Okay, so we're just going to finish off with closing comments from each of you on what you think is the bad thing about you, what you don't like about yourself, or the reason why you rate it.
Love myself.
Why you if you loved your film, then you would have given it 10 on 10, but all of you have given it 7. So I want to see what that 3 on 10 or the missing thing is for. I want to see
What is being polite for?
We don't want to sound too cocky, man. For me, it's 12 out of 10.
Yeah?
No,
All of you
no.
go with the same answer.
Yeah.
really we would like to improve on what we understand?
I think all of us are just starting off, like one film down, you know. So I'm sure, I speak for everyone here, we all look for, there's so much scope for improving, be it script, be it, you know, the way you should be, the way you execute it. Definitely scope for perfection. So I think the 3 points that you're not seeing is, we are hoping we can
improve.
We're glad we're able to do it. I was initially hesitant how we're going to manage it right now. So 6 of us. Glad you guys made it happen.
Can we end it with Kumararaja laughing? Because that's
It's like old films in the 70s used to have that. Happy, everyone laughed.
Somebody does a bad joke and everybody laughs.
Everybody loves. Super comfort power.